answer from LYON was very, very good and executed well and really determined a lot of the game. So we're going to have bot lane priority again with Nami starting out. Nami right now has, did get a small nerf on the patch, but still has tremendous value because you have the versatility of going with, Ezreal, Corki, or Lucian type action. Zven has definitely been more of a preference towards like the Corki-ish, combinations with it. So we'll see where they go, but they did, nerf the damage a bit here for Nami early. So we'll see if it's still just as potent in lane or not.
And funny enough, I do believe that these 6 bans are exact copies of what they were in game number 1. Karma, Seraphine, Orianna banned out by LYON. Pantheon, Azir, and Varus banned out by C9. That Nami first pick you already mentioned there for Vulcan on the C9 side is answered by a first pick Jarvan for Inspired. It's another one of those top tier AD junglers that's just been the meta game for so long now, and Inspired's going to be making plays on it.
Yeah, but it always is weird for me to pick my Jarvan before I see the enemy carries, because Jarvan, you usually want your Jarvan into somebody that doesn't have dashes.
Something immobile.
What was I just saying? Corki and Ezreal and Lucian, those are pretty...
all 3 guys that know how to dash.
Yeah. So that's the only weird thing to me, but because you kind of expect one of those pairings. Otherwise, though, Jarvan is pretty universally good. It is better when you can pick it into carries that aren't going to have an easy way out of your Cataclysm. But as you say, he is a pretty good fighter, just generally here. And if you've got a Nautilus too, then you've got very good engage again. And that was the recipe for LYON. They've got plenty of go batons.
Well, even though Corki might be able to fly out of the Cataclysm, the spear is one of nature's hardest counters to the fish.
Okay.
So Nami is definitely going to be in some trouble here. Vulcan will be very easy to kill with the engage power that LYON has, and it looks like alongside that Corki and Nami, we are going to go Renekton for Thanatos in the top lane for C9, back over on the other side. It's a very nautical-themed bottom lane matchup here in this game.
Water.
3 out of 4 champions are some type of related to the ocean. So we've got MF Nautilus going up against the Corki and the Nami. You talked about the CC with the Jarvan and the Nautilus having plenty of engage. Bullet time flying over the top of that is a nightmare to have to deal with.
Yeah, LYON said, okay, well, recipe worked pretty well in game number 1, and we are going to have a strong push bottom lane here with lots of kill pressure. We've got a ganking jungler. So Nautilus Misfortune lane has huge burst damage, huge CC setup, and if you get a Jarvan controlling gank angles around the bottom lane, this could very well be another, bot lane diff here for LYON already early on in the draft. Renekton is a pretty good blind pick here, especially because it's Thanatos, and he really likes and loves Renekton, but you also get a couple of protection bans because this is the other side for them. So take out the Gnar, the common answer here. And since they already banned Dhokla's Varus, you don't have to worry about the Varus top lane into your Renekton either, which can also be painful.
Well, we don't have the exact mirrored role selections in the first half of the draft like we did in game number 1. LYON still prioritizing their bottom lane and their jungle. But since we have that, we got a lot of bilge water here.
Well, they didn't do the gangplank. I was hoping for the full synergy.
The full LARP is denied us for now, but we do have double AD jungler bans for LYON in the second half here, the Wukong and the Nocturne, keeping those away from Blaber. And alongside that Gnar ban you mentioned, LeBlanc also banned out by C9, and the response for Dhokla into the Renekton is Kennen.
That's a bit of a combo with the Wombo here, Flowers.
Yeah, Slicing Maelstrom plus Bullet Time does hella damage.
Yeah.
I don't know the exact number, but it is hella.
It is at least 1.5 hellas. And you've got Jarvan and Nautilus here too, so that combo right there is looking pretty good. All right,
but you know what also looks good? Ziggs.
Yeah, this is the trump card, the last pick for Cloud9. But I raise you an APA Ziggs.
Okay.
Fair enough. If you're really good with your satchel as well, maybe you can like delay the Kennen getting into your team and try and zone the Kennen off a little bit. They do have Sejuani ult this time around as well. So they've got Sejuani ult into Nami ultimate. So Cloud9 do have their own engage and their own ability to make and force fights this time as well. Plus Sejuani and Renekton is just one of my favorite combos of all time for top lane and jungle. And so that's a combo where you can gank the Kennen and you take away this counter pick, the teeth of the counter pick basically. If you kill and take away the Kennen flash, then it becomes Renekton always having kill pressure, and every minion wave that comes up is really dangerous for the Kennen, because if your minions are coming up in a line, then it provides a very easy slice and dice engage for the Renekton. So if Sejuani can get a single successful gank off on the Kennen, it can really turn the matchup. But if the Jarvan is doing a lot of work here and sets up both his top side and his bottom side for success, then those could be oppressive matchups. So I think a lot of jungler intervention over some of these matchups could have a huge effect.
Okay. Is that, do you want to see it mostly focused around that top side, or maybe
both will have big
okay.
ability to snowball and big ramifications, because the Nautilus misfortune as well. If you can influence that one and get them ahead, then they're going to constantly put kill pressure on Nami.
Well, I feel like the pressure is on C9 to bounce back here again. The finals was just such an upset compared to what everybody was expecting based on the whole split up until that point. LYON was clearly the better team going into the finals. In game number 1, they were clearly the better team here today. Can C9 find a way to regain their footing, stabilize a little bit, or is the LYON reign of domination going to continue?
Let's find out now, Flowers. All right.
Let's do it.
They got counter pick in bottom and top lane here for LYON, so let's see how well they can use it. Again, Saint here, though, he's out of position. He's going to have to use a summoner spell or something, maybe. I guess Vulcan can't get too close. Just an extra health trade here, so a lot of potions being chugged early on. Saint immediately pops one for himself and still going to be very down heavy.
Ooh. Yeah, meanwhile, there was a mid laner battle, and now we've got a jungler battle as Blaber is forced out of his own red quadrant by Inspired on the Jarvan.
So Saint is dry. He has 0 potions left after that.
Okay, it's a desert out here in mid lane.
That one's going to sting.
Arid.
Took some bombs and took some Nami damage as well. At the same time, though, while Saint was taking damage, Inspired, of course, doing the invade here. This is something we did see in finals, especially later on into the finals. For LYON versus Cloud9 last time around. Blaber, of course, is still going to have a really good reactionary course of action because Saint has been taken out basically so early on with all the health. He is mid-prio for Blaber, so it's very easy for Blaber to say, okay, fine, you counter jungle me, I'm going to go take your Raptors. Inspired's coming over, though, to try and defend anyway, and he's got a red buff.
Yeah, APA sidesteps away from the knockup of the EQ combo from Inspired, who now has to be a little bit careful. The satchel charge is already armed on the ground. The charm on the Blaber from Saint to provide for the escape route for Inspired. So C9, yes, they're going to spend the flash from APA to make sure that he stays alive there, but Inspired also having to use his flash on the Jarvan.
I still would question the move from APA as far as using your flash. Usually the Jarvan's goal is to trade flashes with you. And so, ooh, they're going to find Blaber, continue to hunt Blaber.
He's going to bounce it off the Gromp. Oh, Blaber down to 150 HP. Isles continuing to go forward. The dredge line misses, but the bullet does not. Berserker with first blood, and this is so tilting if you're Blaber, man.
Yeah, the bottom lane counter pick here has the push. They invade your jungle. Operation Attack Blaber successful for LYON yet again. Oof, that is painful. And again, back to the mid lane too. Usually the Jarvan wants to trade his flash for your flash of the mid laner anyway. And so in APA trying to go for the kill onto him and trading flashes there is kind of still good for Inspired, even though it looked like him being the one to run away. But bottom lane is leaving here. So you heard the ping. I heard yellow ping there. I heard the noise. So they did say, yo, you got to get out of there. Like, we can't control this bottom lane. They pushed us. And Flowers, they just walk them down. They've got vision. They know with the last flash there, they can answer flashes. Berserker knows every day of the week, I'm going to finish this one. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, that's free money.
Yeah. Cloud9 woes continue, Flowers.
It's rough, man.
It really is. It really is. They had such an electric start to this year. You know, just dominating the lock-in tournament for so long, all the way up until finals, but came crashing down at the hands of LYON. And LYON looking like they want to do it again here. They've really had their number. Inspired with the level 1 invade onto Blaber. You know, picking his Jarvan and then Blaber has the Sejuani into it, you know you're going to be able to have a lot of really good early choices. And then double counterpick to counterpick the top lane, counterpick the bottom lane. And so the Berserker and Isles move up. This continues the pain and
oh man. It's just Inspired's just bullying the guy at this point. Jumping over the wall.
Yoink.
Stealing away his camps. Now the Gromp is respawned, and look who's here. It's Berserker and Isles again, backing up Inspired on the invade, as LYON is also rotating Saint over here. So they are full sending towards this. Blaber's only still level 3 on the Sejuani. If he can kill the Gromp, he'll at least take over to level 4, but that's not going to happen. Inspired smites the Gromp down, hits level 5 before Blaber hits level 4.
We're going to have to start a GoFundMe for Blaber.
Yep, I'll...
Anybody in crowd got some jungle camps they want to contribute to Blaber?
I'll throw in a chicken camp. Sure, why not?
We're accepting all jungle camp donations for Blaber at the moment. He's going to have to go wait for his Krugs. They're still a ways off.
Okay, meanwhile, the replay you can see in the bottom lane here just kind of showing how some of these summoner spells are getting forced out. And I just got to give so much props to Berserker and Isles so far in this series.
Yeah.
They dominated lane in game number 1. Berserker's Caitlyn controlled things start to finish.
Oh my God.
Isles had amazing plays. And now Blaber's still level 3, thinking about maybe making a play up here on the top side. Isles hits the dredge line on Zven back in bottom. And here we go. All right, 2v1. Dhokla drops the Slicing Maelstrom, flashes away, so they'll at least get the Summoner spell alongside the ulti from Dhokla, as now Isles again looking to put the pressure onto Zven. Vulcan wants to fire back. That's a lot of damage over the Misfortune, and the Mega Inferno Bomb seals the deal. Now Isles is still trying to see if maybe he can get one back here, make this an even trade. Dredge line in onto Zven, needs a little bit more, but he doesn't quite have the flash away from Zven. Isles staying alive for now, right back into the rush, but no! C9 pick up 2.
Woof, okay. Blaber is still really starved, but at least the bottom lane is eating good flowers for Cloud9. And the hopes there for Cloud9 in this series. This is a must-win game for them. So double kill for the bottom lane is going to be huge for the C9 morale down there.
Dhokla.
And Dhokla has no flash. Remember how one gank can really change this matchup so heavily against the Kennen because you become so vulnerable.
And there they go. Thanatos with the slice forward. Flashes for the Ruthless Predator.
Yep.
Blaber trying to follow up here, and there's your stun from Permafrost. Dhokla continues trying to find a way out of this one. They do need a little bit more damage on the C9 side, but no. Cole the Meek has just enough range, and Dhokla drops C9 with a 3-1 lead.
Yeah, you lose so much of your pressure when you have no ult, no flash for the Kennen. Nice punish here from Blaber. He wraps around. He may be underfed on the Sejuani, but you still have your synergy with Renekton. You can get in there for the stun combo. But Thanatos knows I can close the distance, no problem. I have flash advantage, and they get it. Inspired's back to invading bottom side, though. And there's still not a lot that the C9 duo can do about it. They have a big minion wave they need to get to.
Inspired has a personal vendetta against this Gromp. Every time this thing spawns, he is in the jungle stealing it away immediately. 59 to 33 in farm in the jungle is quite the gap, Kobe.
Yeah, I thought you were going to say he has a personal vendetta against Blaber because he's been pushing him around the map.
Blaber and the Gromp. Inspired doesn't like anybody in the jungle. Now he's taking the dragon as well. True. This is the, so we won't get Chemsol in back-to-back games here since this first Drake is the Chemtech one. We'll be able to secure this just about the time when the Void Grubs spawn. As Blaber is hanging around the area, does finally have the level 6 on the Sejuani, but no opportunity to go in and try to make anything happen here. So dragon secured at no cost to LYON.
Yeah, we'll see about the bounce back on the other side too. So gold pretty close here, and just going to be the extra jacket advantage plus the full level in jungle. But Ziggs bomb, another Ziggs bomb. This one does touch. It's not going to be able to fully kill or anything because they have no stun setup. But the Ziggs bomb last time on bottom lane, where it was Nami bubble,
huge.
Nami bubble into direct center hit of the Ziggs bomb, was quite big.
Ooh, Dhokla now under some pressure. Thanatos going for the all-in here. Dominus makes it easy. Thanatos with the solo kill.
Yeah, it always feels so good for the Renekton after it, the matchup turns here, because then the Renekton finally gets payback against this annoying little rat that's been harassing him all lane long, and he's catching back up in CS off of these extra kills they've been getting. Gives him a lot more time to finish up the CS up there too. Inspired, is he going to go back in for this? Looks like wants the return. Dhokla doesn't have teleport, but doesn't matter. He's got mid lane priority.
Yep, even though Inspired does not have a smite, there's no way for Blaber to really hang around here. You could see that APA wanted to go ahead and take his base. Will teleport back towards mid lane now, but that is first Drake, as well as all 3 grubs going the way of LYON, so nice early objective control for them down here in the bottom lane. It is still a slight lead for Berserker on the MF, but really, that Mega Inferno Bomb that you mentioned earlier, turning the tides in C9's favor, prevented this from being just a massively one-sided affair yet again. Isles sidestepping away from the bubble. Nicely done there, but he is still chunked below half HP.
Yeah, I was wondering if they were going to use Nami ult, because Isles is still level 5, whereas Vulcan got level 6, so no full commitment though, because Isles still had a route to get out of there. He still has his flash. Vulcan holding his Nami ult, and Blaber has Sedge ult ready too, so C9, they're coming in, but Isles has the inkling as well. Okay, they might set up the dive. He defensively wards here. Blaber is spending a lot of time though. Maybe he thought there was going to be some sort of Jarvan aggression, but they're going to move in and try and... Ooh. That, okay. I mean, now they see him too, so...
All right, well, the wave's just going to crash into the turret. Berserker will clear that all out of the way. Blaber takes his reset, heads on home. Sundered Sky, you can see, completed there for Inspired. Blaber, of course, still handling the components on his side. So power spike for Inspired. If he runs into Blaber in the jungle, he's going to be more confident than ever. And he's been playing this whole game very confidently so far.
Yep, definitely has. Thanatos, the biggest lead for Cloud9 up there. The Renekton. Getting the kills for Renekton is big, and being able to get CS and tower plates back in his favor as well means Renekton might be an issue. And Thanatos can get really, really strong here, and he's gone for a rush into Mercury treads because he's playing into double AP solo laners. He will be an actual strong team fighter because number one, he'll have the Sejuani synergy.
Yeah.
Ooh. But we're just happy for Blaber getting camps, I think.
Yeah.
He's gonna get some Krugs!
A little bit of economic relief here for the Sejuani as he does pick up all of the baby Kruggies. As Dhokla continues trying to keep the pressure on Thanatos up here in the top lane with the Kennen, has his alternator, has his Vamp Scepter. So bottom lane, Isles goes in with the dredge line here yet again, but the TP about to arrive for C9 means LYON has to get out. Zven has plenty of DPS, but now LYON is also sitting in the reinforcements. Saint decides to just charge forward with Inspired right behind him, and now the bullet time makes mincemeat out of Vulcan. The Cataclysm turns him into fish soup, and LYON pick up 2 for nothing.
Oof, yeah, you don't want to fight over that bottom lane. LYON with the extra advantage on Saint's teleport. I mean, wait, Inspired, they both have Smite. I wanted to see...
Yeah, hold on, wait, we actually have some PvP up here with the top side. Thanatos going to take that again. In the solo kill matchup, in that 1v1, Thanatos secures the kill. Meanwhile, Inspired continuing to, as you were pointing out, he's fighting for those Gromps. He just will not get out of the jungle.
I'm pretty sure he won because his Smite is now upgraded. Previous to us seeing the culmination of the Smite fight on that Gromp, they both had 900 Smites.
Yeah.
And now Inspired has his upgraded one, and it's going to be a long time before Blaber gets one.
Yeah, Blaber still has 11 pet snackies on his jungle item. That's not... Yeah, his tempo has been completely ruined this game as Berserker and Isles are back down into position here in bottom lane. Bloodthirster completed for Berserker. The sustain on this thing is just so nice. It's so easy to keep your health topped off. Just take the little trades where you can get them going up against that Corki, who's normally going to be able to poke you down pretty effectively with the rockets, but C9 are deciding to take this chance and go for the second dragon of the game. Remember, the first one did go over to LYON and Inspired earlier on. Heal used by Isles for the extra movement speed boost to not get caught in the Aqua Prison there. And it looks like C9 should be able to secure this. You can see Saint is around the area, but since Inspired is not, LYON is not going to overcommit to trying to stop this. Instead, Saint's just going to get the wave pushing in mid. Inspired trying to steal away the red buff, but now finds Thanatos guarding it, trying to make sure that Blaber doesn't fall further behind.
Yeah, this is the best thing about having a fed top laner. They can come defend your camps for you.
Yeah, bodyguard.
Thanatos is Blaber's champion at the moment.
Ooh, now Blaber. Nice Glacial Prison there on a Saint who has to flash away to survive. Inspired also getting out just barely in time. Zven down to 1/3 HP. Does escape thanks to the Valkyrie.
Inspired's going back. Look at this.
Yeah, dude, he's ready.
Look at the mini-map. Oh, wait.
Inspired is just Blaber's nightmare right now when he steals the red buff. He uses the flag combo to get away over the wall at the same time, and now he's going back in again. Blaber wants to at least take some Krugs. Meanwhile, down here in the bottom lane, Zven's down to 200 HP. Inspired goes for the dunk onto Blaber. The Protoplasm Harness keeping him healthy enough for now, but no. Saint wants to use the Spirit Rush to go in, but he cannot find the charm. The minions are there just at the right time to make sure there's not a clear line of sight. But LYON have recognized Blaber as the point they want to target in this second game, and his life is not fun.
Right. The real fight that you got to keep track of is Inspired versus Thanatos, not Inspired versus Blaber. And Inspired is kind of treating Thanatos like another jungle camp that he had to leash, like a very scary one.
Powerful camp.
He's like, okay, I got back off, and then Renekton goes back to lane. Okay, now I can reinvade, and then Renekton comes back, and then right back in and continue punishing Blaber. But okay.
All right, Isles taking a pretty serious chunk of damage here. Saint shows up right behind him. Charm flies over the wall. Doesn't connect, but it creates enough space for Isles to safely get away, still with more than half the health bar intact. Honestly, the game overall is very close. Not even 1,000 gold separates the teams. It was C9 in an overall lead there for a while. Now it is swung back towards LYON.
Yeah, and I actually like Cloud9's side, because if you have to have someone who is underfed and someone who's going to be weak, you want it to be your Sejuani utility, right? And not your Kennen that needs a lot of extra, money for damage. If it's going to be a weak Gunblade Kennen, it might be hard for Dhokla to stay alive, even if he does find a flank to go in. It's a very long time before you can get Zhonya's, and maybe you don't even get a Zhonya's. Like you aren't going to have a lot of survivability, and they might be able to like zone you out of fights. And Thanatos with early merc treads can just keep like trying to run you down. Meanwhile, Sejuani, you're still going to provide a lot of CC. Ideally, obviously, it'd be better if you were more tanky, but we'll see here as far as which member being underfed and still being able to perform in the team fights matters a lot.
And I also have to keep my eyes on APA Ziggs. Anytime he's allowed to actually play his signature champion in one of these games, we know the amount of pressure that he can secure with it. Meanwhile, C9 going for the full all-in on Isles. He survives with a shield for now. The Dredge line does not manage to provide an escape route, but he can still walk it off. Meanwhile, up here in the top lane, the Rift Herald is going to be summoned up by LYON as they go in for the 3v1 against Thanatos, who might just be able to make it a 1-for-1, but no, the Cataclysm dunks him down. First turret also destroyed by LYON up here in the top lane before C9 is able to get something back on bottom side. The Rift Herald value coming up pretty clutch there, and they might even get the second charge. Bullet Time's going to wipe out most of the minion wave, and Berserker is about to get paid.
Yeah, LYON basically, they quote-unquote won the fights on both sides, because even bottom side, even though they didn't kill anyone, being able to have both members survive, delay the take on the tower as well, and then fully escape there was basically a W for the weak side, line play on bottom side. And then they obviously were successful on the top side, and Dhokla survived without giving a counter kill. So that was good for LYON, honestly, on both sides. Even though Cloud9 are able to at least get the bottom side tower eventually, they're unable to take down either Isles or Saint in their efforts.
This Gromp, man. Every single Gromp.
Blaber's going to get him this time.
Has there been a Gromp spawn that Inspired wasn't here contesting this Gromp? He's just in the jungle of Blaber the entire game long. It is about a 2,000 gold lead now for LYON, just about 18 minutes into the game. As you can see, the TP escape there from APA. Knew that he could have been in a pretty precarious situation. So goes ahead and takes the fast track out back home. Does have the Blackfire Torch completed here on the Ziggs. This champion will do so much damage once he's got 2-3 items online. And we know that APA is so very scary on it. I particularly like the Mega Inferno Bomb usage that we've seen so far. Want to see more of that. Berserker trying to defend the tier 1 turret here in the mid lane, but there's just not enough HP left on the thing. So C9 are going to knock that one down. They're actually ahead in turrets now.
They do get the mid one down, opening it up here. Nice timing with the dragon spawn, so they should be able to get it. Dhokla has no teleport, so pretty sure the call for LYON is just try and get some money, Dhokla, up there, please.
Yep.
Get some more money on that Kennen so that you are a real threat of a flank.
catch up a little bit.
They really do need some threat behind that flank, and if the Kennen has flash, then it should be putting Cloud9 on, like, okay, somebody please, everyone has to, you know, be aware of Dhokla's presence, you know, has to mark the Kennen, we gotta try and keep him out. And he's working on it, working on the catch up.
Also, I feel like a lot of times when Kennen is in the meta, one thing that you'll see supports often do is either take Exhaust or at least take Summoner Spellbook to swap over to it, but there's no Exhaust and there's no Summoner Spellbook on Vulcan, so if Dhokla does get a big flank with an explosive Maelstrom, that's GG on a team fight.
And honestly, like, as far as like the catch-up, he's been, like, I think he actually has caught up, so he's actually in a decent spot, and his second item will be at a very good timing, because Proto Belt is pretty cheap. Wait.
Ooh, okay. Thanatos keeping the pressure on, forcing the Spirit Rush there out of Saint.
Yeah.
Oh boy. Hold on. Now LYON trying to defend themselves. Inspire takes a ton of damage, but he jumps in here with a Cataclysm, looking to lock up C9. Meanwhile, Dhokla with a Slicing Maelstrom doesn't have enough damage to kill off APA here just yet, but does finally secure it. It's at the cost of Berserker, though. 1 for 1 so far, and what's a pretty explosive fight.
Huge fight for Cloud9 there. They crack it, and they get both Summoner Spells out of Berserker, the Flash out of the Kennen as well, so they take away that threat. Zven getting paid afterwards as well. More turret plate money after the fight. This is both much, much better for Cloud9 now. I mean, the presence of Thanatos, this Renekton being fed and getting the early Merc Treads means he could force the Ahri ultimate out before, really early, before this even breaks out. You know, he forces the Ahri ultimate out, and then he teleports into the fight. And look how they split the fight there. They delay the Inspired Engage so long, by the time Dhokla flashes in, there isn't a lot of follow-up. So he kills APA, but Zven kills him, and Thanatos had already dove and killed off the Berserker. He's like, yeah, he can't do much when the Renekton teleports into his face like that, but Ziggs ult also had set it up, and so they got both Summoner Spells off the Misfortune. No flash on the Kennen now either.
Well, it's still a very slight, only a couple hundred gold lead overall for LYON, but the only player that's actually ahead of his counterpart is Inspired. He's just that far ahead of Blaber, so we'll see what he's able to accomplish here. Does have the Black Cleaver alongside the Sundered Sky, so this Jarvan is very strong when he goes in.
Yeah, and Cloud9, they did a good job like kind of delaying his engage last time around, and then the follow-up wasn't like perfectly synced for LYON either, so honestly feeling pretty good about Cloud9's chances of pushing this to a game 3 as well.
Yeah.
So we get a little bit more stage time here. You know, APA on Ziggs, moving in, trying to get some jungle territory. He's had pretty good dodges on Saint Charms for a lot of this game, and continues to do so here. They don't know, now they know that there's the ward in there. But again, Thanatos does so much. This Renekton with Merc Treads on side lanes, very good into either solo laner. So Thanatos can constantly get side lane pressure regardless of who is sent into him. On top of the Merc Treads, he even has the tenacity from Sterix as well. So he really gets a lot of uptime in these fights, and he still has his flash. He didn't have to use it in the previous team fight. That's why it's so big. They got Berserker's flash. So Thanatos definitely will be a huge presence, especially with the added threat of Sejuani passive stun stacking with him too. And Cloud9 kind of utilized that. They have him push bottom and then rotate over to mid lane so they can get this mid lane tower.
And when you've got the Ziggs, taking towers is so incredibly easy. The Satchel just gives you so much free damage to detonate them. So now we've got the gold lead completely erased. C9 with a very marginal lead overall for themselves. We've got 1 minute on the clock until the next Drake spawns. It's not going to be sold for either side, but it would bring C9 to soul point if they can secure that for themselves. You've still always got to be mindful in these neutral objective fights when you're up against Misfortune. Make sure you don't give her the clean angle on the ulti, finding a perfect bullet time straight down a ramp or something like that. But so far, I feel like C9's been doing a good job.
Definitely agree. This game looking a lot better. And now Zven also has his Lord Doms completed too. So he can cut down Inspired and Isles as well when they go in. See about the group though. Recall for APA as well. He's going to grab another needlessly large lot, a little bit of extra AP to back up if they can get a combo here. So Blaber ultimate can look for Berserker. They know Misfortune no flash. Her move speed's very high with Strut, so it's still pretty hard to hit her, but They can look for it. If you fish with a Sejuani ult and maybe a flank from the bottom side, Renekton.
Here we go, but the Glacial Prison misses. Saint's gonna take a ton of damage to the Mega Inferno Bomb, but Berserker is already down. Thanatos here on the flank, we're gonna finish off the enemy support as Zven stays alive and inspired. Can't find anything. C9 are looking so much better in game 2.
Yeah, they fish for it and they find it. Sejuani ult pushes Berserker up to the top side, and Ziggs, really good APA ult. Easy for him to land it, gets the big damage. Fully taking down LYON. They're going to get the Baron Flowers, and I would wager that they can even go over with their Baron-empowered recalls to grab the Dragon 2. Inspired still dead for another 20 seconds. So we're setting up for the Cloud9 clapback.
This is looking good, man. The engage, the powerful burst. Even though the Sejuani ulti doesn't find the target, there's just so much damage.
And again, yeah, Miss Fortune's fast, but he forces Miss Fortune into this small area. So that makes it really easy for Ziggs to land the damage and Zven to just jump on. Boom, they delete the Miss Fortune. They know he had no flash from the previous fight, so this follow-up fight is really advantageous for them. Nicely executed there by Cloud9. And they didn't even need the flank from Thanatos, too. Off on the minimap, you can see Thanatos had a deep flank, too, so there was no retreat for LYON there. And Cloud9 will be able to get their Dragon on top of the Baron and should be able to march in to take away a lot of the extra towers here. LYON's still trying to have, do some split pushing and trying to get at least something back on the other side of the map, but they're going to need, like, a really, really big combination here, play from Dhokla and Inspire to be able to take down Zven. I guess their hope is that Zven now no flash on the Corki, but as long as Zven positions, fairly respectfully, Valka's enough to keep him safe. And Cloud9 also have plenty of other threats with APA and Thanatos.
And while Saint is trying to have a little pressure on the map up here in the top side, Dhokla sidesteps a Glacial Prison down here in bottom lane. The 4-man unit of C9 looking to push into the base of LYON. Takes about half the HP off the turret. Remember, turret HP is deceptive against Ziggs. Once the thing's down to 20% or so, kaboom, already gone. As C9 are going to continue using this Baron, continue pushing forward. Dhokla with the flash. They want to be respectful of this Kennen, but at the same time, they know they've got to push their advantages while they have this 3K gold lead, while they have this Baron for the next 60 seconds or so. Thanatos now creating a second point of pressure over in mid. The raid boss, Renekton, very, very strong. And it's going to create enough space for the rest of the team down here in bottom lane to continue their push towards that tier 3 turret. APA is not even required. They don't even need this satchel for it. Zven's got plenty of damage. Inhibitor about to fall here too. Mega Inferno Bomb just forces Berserker and Isles further away. C9's going to take their first inhib down here in bottom lane, rotate the Wrecking Crew over to mid, and continue the destruction there.
Yeah, even though he whiffs his ultimate, all of his other bombs have been landing. So he's been doing a lot of poke damage here. The Ziggs poke from APA in the offensive siege, providing a lot of value. That plus the rockets from Zven makes pretty easy work. Cloud9 now.
Yep, and here's your engaged Glacial Prison right onto Dhokla. The Kennen's dead before he can even use the ulti. Thanatos stays alive with the extra durability from Dominus. He doesn't even lose his Sterix gauge. He's going to go back to base, heal, teleport, and rejoin the fight if Cloud9 wants to keep the pressure on, but they'll be happy with the 2 inhibitors they've already earned for themselves. They have total control over the Rift. Kobe, this is looking like we're going to game 3.
Yeah, much better look here from C9 this game. Inspired, gonna try and, create something out of nothing here if they can stop some recalls. I guess Vulcan is desynced now, but
okay,
he can swim pretty quickly.
Yeah, fish do like being in the river. Okay, he'll make it away back to...
What about pigs?
I don't know about that one. What about Poros? Inspired and Isles still seeing if maybe there's a pick to be found, but no. C9 is bringing in the reinforcements and Thanatos has arrived. That means LYON has to get out now. They do not want to be dealing with that crocodile. Control continues for C9. No objectives to fight over for the next 2 minutes or so. We'll see if they just want to push further towards the enemy base. There's not a whole lot for them to get since both those inhibitors are already down. The one remaining inhibitor still has the tier 2 turret protecting it up there in top lane as well. So it will take a little bit more investment of resources to force that down, but it looks like that will be the play here for C9 as Blaber with the Summoner's Spellbook teleports up into the top lane. He and Vulcan are going to make sure that that wave is pushing further towards LYON.
All right, everybody, do you think... Wait.
Hold on. We might not have time to think. Saints already chunked down to 1/3 HP as LYON scrambles to try to stay alive. Inspired, chunked to 1/3. Dhokla arrives, has the teleport shield, but C9 just, again, looking for any chance they can get to find a pick on LYON and end this game.
Yeah, all right. That's a lot of tools already used. Cloud9 now can just finish up their siege top side. Not long for this world. One Ziggs auto attack with a short fuse pops half the health.
Yeah, this is looking pretty ugly for the LYON squad as C9 are going to continue their siege. 60 seconds until we get the Baron and the Dragon Soul both spawning onto the map for C9. Biles chunked to below half HP again. Has to just try to get away. And C9 have a 6,000 gold lead.
Yeah. That Ziggs poke, very, very annoying. Level 16 Ziggs with death cap completed, by the way.
Yeah, that thing does a bunch of damage.
Yeah, take a guess how much. Don't look!
Okay. Sweet spot or not sweet spot?
The center. Sweet spot.
1,100.
Very close.
What is it?
First, I want to ask chat. Chat, do you think it is over or under Flower's guess of 1,100? Over or under 1,100 damage on the sweep spots on level 3 rank ultimate?
With that, it's got to be over.
It is over. It's only 40 over, though.
Okay, wait, it was actually 1140?
Yeah.
Dude, I'm so good.
Very, very close.
All right, I'm happy with that guess. I will take that. That's like a 96% on the test or whatever. That round, that's an A. I will take that.
You get an A+ from me, buddy.
Yeah, I'll take that. Okay, we're putting that one on the fridge as C9 are going to take their 4th elemental Drake of the game. They will secure the soul for themselves, despite the fact that LYON was really putting the screws to Blaber early on in this game. He was able to weather the storm. Thanatos being the rock up there in the top lane, that raid boss Renekton, that point of power they could play around. Blaber, like you already said earlier, this is the champion that you're fine being behind the curve of the game, right? He's buying thrift store items. He's got his Knight's Vow. He's got his Ziggs Convergence. He can buy the cheap stuff and still be very effective. And now C9 with their Dragon Soul posturing around the Baron, total control over this top side of the map, and another beautiful Glacial Prison stuns off Dhokla. The Kennen dies before he can even press the ultimate. Now Inspired's got to try to get away. Thanatos with a slice and dice after the enemy jungler. And with Inspired out of the picture, there is no way for LYON to try to stop C9 now.
Yeah, when everyone tells me, oh, jungle's so OP, top lane doesn't matter, then I'll show them this game.
Yeah, this is a great example. You keep this one
jungle diff or top diff. Well, in this game, the top diff was more important.
Yeah, the top diff. Where's the jungle diff? Yeah, he's the diff right there. As C9, they don't even need Baron. Berserker's just trying to farm minions in mid, but C9 looks ready to end the game right here. They do have the super minions. They need a little bit more damage to clear out these turrets. First one about to fall. Then needed one more auto attack. Okay, we're getting a little bit happy here. Berserker cutting the wave in mid at least did provide enough time for LYON to still stay standing for now, but Blaber with the flash, the point blank ulti. And again, LYON players are dying before they can react to anything. The burst from C9 is just massive.
See, you could be way more useful on a Starved Sejuani. Wait!
Oh, Dhokla going in. Tries to find the kill into APA, but the Ziggs has enough mana for the satchel to get back over the wall. Meanwhile, Zven flashing forward. He's on a rampage. Inspired is already gone, and the rest of LYON is going with them. It's an ace for C9. Right as LYON thought, maybe we can try to defend this. No, sir, not going to happen. 17-5. C9 bounce back in game 2.
All right, GG, we're going to 3. And Blaber gets some relief. That's why you have to have positive mental, Flowers.
Positive mental and a positively enormous Renekton in the top lane. Thanatos is my player of the game in this one. Lounge, how about you?
Thanks to Blaber. Yeah. The CC chains were crucial. Of course.
Look, he hung in there, you know?
That was crazy.
And that's like a mental advantage.
Honestly, the best mental advantage is pressing tab and looking at the difference that's happening in top lane.
Yeah, exactly.
That's true, actually.
Also, like, small shout out, I really loved